Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Black Metal and Brews. I'm Ben. It's been a good minute since we've sat together and listened to some music and had a beer. The reasons for this are primarily due to the fact that in the month of December I did a silly and overworked myself and basically didn't have time to put much into my website at all. And then as a result of overworking and not having time, I made myself sick, and so I caught the flu and spent the first few weeks of January basically bedridden. Now I'm back, and save for being a little deep in throat, I'm pretty much myself. Today we've got a big undertaking here with a very heavy dark beer and dark heavy tape, so let's get started. Welcome back. Hello. Today we're going to be visiting with Ballast Point's Victory at Sea, and actually I shouldn't open this just yet because we got a lot to do with the tape. Today we're visiting with the tape by Sea Witch, As Above, So Below. This was released on Small Doses just at the end of 2014, and as you can see, Joe, the head of Small Doses, put a lot of care into this double cassette package. I love tapes like this. I'm probably going to make my videos focus more on tapes with such exquisite packaging, because this tape is lengthy, 37 minutes. The program repeats on both sides, which I love. I love when tapes are designed to just play again when you flip them over, or at the very least have a B-side, because it's no fun when you've just got to fast forward an entire side of your tape. Sea Witch is a two-piece black doom group from Nova Scotia. One of the fellas, JL, plays bass and guitar, and the other one, SJ, plays drums and accordion. The accordion adds a wonderful droning element. You'll see. Figure I'll let you take a look at this booklet, because this is just so beautifully done. This transparent paper here feels nice to the touch. Beautifully laid out. The artwork contained within, I'm not sure how well you can see that. It's just gorgeous. Being that Sea Witch is an instrumental band, these images and the titles of the songs are really all we're given to ponder. Even the tapes have artwork on them. It's just great. I love it. We're listening to the So Below portion of As Above and So Below. As this is Sea Witch's second demo of the two contained here, I figure it's more recent material, gives all of us a better idea of where they stand, although the first tape is also fantastic. You can hear just the accordion really, aside from being, part of sea shanties, which what have you, that's kind of beside the point. There's something timeless about the droning of an accordion. It's an instrument that doesn't get used as much in most modern popular forms of music, at least. And it just evokes something different that I think is really complementary to the atmosphere Sea Witch conjures. Figured, given the nautical theme, the depth and darkness, it was crucial to pair these two. Oh man, and you can, were you here, would be able to smell the beer from here. Victory at Sea is a beer that I look forward to. It's a seasonal winter release from Ballast Point. We're based out of San Diego. Just a coffee vanilla imperial porter. Now, if that sounds like a mouthful, it kind of is. However, you're not given the overwhelmingly sweet thing. I really don't like that in my beer. I know a lot of people don't like too much sugar. Instead, what you're presented is a balanced, enjoyable drinking experience, which is ideal for most of us, at least. And you can see on that pour, we've got a nice, solid head there. That's not going anywhere, and you don't want it to. It's really retaining that roasted, almost mocha sort of scent is absolutely the primary note here. So big malt characteristic, espresso, coffee bean. The vanilla doesn't peek through as much in the head, Probably just due to the dominance of the other flavors, though, because I know on the sip there is a bit of sweet. I got a 6-pack because I've got to. And at 10% alcohol, I'm kind of glad this is a 12-ounce and not a larger bottle. I think, of course, some people, we all have our own tolerance, but I'm actually not a heavy drinker. I don't like large amounts of alcohol. I'd rather enjoy a single drink or two. But as you can hear, we got Sea Witch playing. It's just beautiful. I think they do a really good job of conjuring the dark coldness of like the northeastern, northeastern portion of the United States, at least Atlantic. Just you've got the coldness, the crashing. It's here on the West Coast, we certainly get some intense waves at the coast, but our ocean's a little warmer, and well, it's called Pacific for a reason. While it certainly has its moments, it's a calmer ocean. I can just imagine a cold, rocky shore, bathed in fog with waves crashing to the sound of this. It's beautiful, but it's huge. It's captivating. I love it. You can finally see a little bit of lacing starting to form here in the glass. Really. It's almost overwhelming. Coffee, it tastes more like a cup of black coffee than a beer upon initial sip. But there's kind of a thinness to the body that's almost surprising for a beer this dark and thick. I mean, obviously in a stouter or porter, you're probably not going to see light come through, but this is just, I almost feel like it's going to suck the light out of the area in which it is. And it's darn tasty, but I mean, goodness, you have to like a malty, roasty beer. So similarly, there's smoke is another characteristic I'm really picking up here. And there's a bit of sugar kind of on the back of the palate with it, but the vanilla is more almost to temper it, because something this strong, this intense, really, it needs something to soften it, because otherwise you just have that kind of thing that makes you want to pucker, just that intense. It's not sour, but just it's a different kind of bitterness than you'd get from a hop. But this is, a lot of folks just find bitterness from hop, it seems, but malty beers can be quite bitter, and this is a prime example. Well executed imperial porter. Perhaps a little heavy-handed on the coffee with this batch. I've had more subdued batches of this in the past, or perhaps my palate has shifted away from other flavors in beer. It's hard to say, but this is overall a well-made beer, an enjoyable drinking experience. Certainly, it's one great with a meal. I'm going to be enjoying this with a curry, actually. Feel that it'll really balance the spice with the kind of roasted and slightly sweet notes here. I do food pairings, but goodness knows that I just haven't got that in me. And I feel that this is certainly, this could be a meal on its own, as heavy as it is, but realistically, one need not, wait for a meal as an occasion to enjoy such a fine beer. I really used to be all about porters and stouts. These days, perhaps just my curiosity, my experimental needs, driven me away from them more. But I was really happy to find this. If you find this where you are, I know I used to get it in Florida, and I can find it here in Portland, Oregon. So if you're at least within the United States, I imagine you can get this. Ballast Point gets pretty great distribution. I feel like you can find their Sculpin IPA just about anywhere. If you've got a retailer that gets this 6-pack was $15, so it's certainly a little more of an investment than your average, $6 to $10 6-pack, but well worth it for the experience. It's a unique one, and possibly one that will, turn you on to the style if you're not into it. And if you love coffee, as I do, I'm sure those of you who follow me on Twitter will see it. Probably a third of my updates are, I'm drinking coffee, I can't wait to X, Y, or Z, because coffee is probably, in my bloodstream a little too often and a little too much. So as a coffee and beer lover, I can't recommend this enough. It's not overwhelmingly sweet. The coffee is balanced, and as it sits longer, I feel like it mellows out even more. You get more of the chocolatey notes. It's a great one, kind of nutty. Highly recommended, though. I think I'm repeating myself a bit here. Anyway, yeah, certainly a good one for a cold winter day. Although don't serve the beer itself too cold. Obviously, you lose something with the darker beers if you have them at too cold of a temperature. I let this sit out for probably about 40 minutes before pouring, and I, truth be told, could have let it get a little warmer even, and I'd have been happy with it. I'm hoping that in 2015 I can make this more of a regular occurrence and that I won't be ill or overworking myself. As always, I love feedback from you guys. Tell me what beers you'd like to see me drink. If I can get my hands on them, I'll try. Tell me what tapes you'd like to see featured. Are you making tapes? Get in touch with me. I'd love to hear them, and I'd love to feature them. Especially if you've got creative packaging. I know I'm a sucker for this, and I think most of us who take the time to collect cassette tapes, it's certainly not because we think, that tapes are going to become the biggest thing. It's because there's really a certain amount of care, an artistic impulse. I have, an actual piece of art here on my hands, not just a box in which there is a tape. And I think that's great. That's not to knock tapes that are basic tapes, because I love those as well. But things like this just make my day. So thanks to Joe at Small Doses for this. Thanks to Ballast for making the beer, although I didn't really coordinate with them. Thank you for watching, and I will see you sooner than later. Cheers!